You're always going to have your version of it.
Of course.
Yeah, that's Thor's version.
There's a maniac who seeks to end us all. I'm putting together the greatest team ever.
Are you packed? Yes.
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me.
Of course, hello.
So happy to be with you. So there are always so many expectations on the MCU films, from the fans, from the studio. But I wanted to ask you, which were your own expectations since you already directed a Thor film? Like, what boundaries did you want to explore for your own expectations?
Well, I wanted to tell a story that maybe had a little more meaning on a human level, like emotionally. For Thor, I wanted to see him go through emotions and problems and deal with those problems that were more human and more relatable. So, yeah, it's like, what's more relatable than asking the question, why am I here? What's my purpose? Why am I doing enough? Is what I'm doing, is this job I'm doing making me happy? Is it the job I always wanted to do? Or did I compromise and just, and give up? So those are questions that we all have, and I think it's nice to see someone who's good looking and super strong and has a great butt and flies around with an axe helping people, to see him go through that as well.
Of course. And actually, I think that this movie is also about the imperfection of the gods and how their ego and hunger for power has corrupted many of them. We've seen that before with Hela, Loki, and now with Zeus and the first god we see on the film. I rooted for Gore for a while, but why do you feel it is important to show this face of the gods in the story?
Because that's another thing that we all ask ourselves. It's like, if there is a God, then why is this happening? It's again, it's about this trying to understand why we're here. If there are gods, what are they doing to us? Where are they? And this idea that the gods are sort of like just up there, like that people have been talking about the gods like this, forever. All the stories about the Greek gods are exactly like what's happening in the Golden Temple. That they just play with us like toys, and just because they're bored. And I enjoyed that. And Gore was a sympathetic character, maybe the most sympathetic villain that Marvel's had. He's going through something we can all relate. We all understand what's driving him and why he's so angry.
In Thor Ragnarok, when Thor is asked about Jane, he says that it was a mutual dumping. And we see that story here. So did you take that idea from the previous film, or you already knew back then that you might be able to show their story in the future?
I had no idea that we'd be able to get Natalie back for the next film. So in Ragnarok, it was just, we just wanted to keep it a little bit open and make it a question. We just said it was a mutual dumping. But that's what, when most people break up, you're always going to have your version of it.
Of course.
Yeah, that's Thor's version.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. Congratulations on the film.
I said it was going to be like a relaxing holiday.